think the Ravens are the biggest winners in the AFC North this offseason?
This is a team that consistently is going to be in position to contend because of how talented they are. The reality of it is those guys can play.
The AFC should watch out for the Baltimore Ravens this season.
Players in the NFL, certainly one of the best players at quarterback. They got a guy at tailback in J.K. Dobbins, who I think could be an all-pro. They got one of the best tight ends in football, a plethora of perimeter weapons, some health on the offensive line, a very good defensive line, one of the better young linebackers in the NFL, and a top 5 secondary. And no one talks about it.
Oh, what it is. Welcome back to another episode of At the Bank, a Baltimore Ravens podcast, Doug. Yo, we got week 2 coming up, you feel me? We got the Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow at 1 p.m. Yo, so check y'all local listeners to make sure y'all ready for that game, you feel me? But before we get started, man, make sure if y'all not already doing it, yo, like, share, and subscribe to the Grid Network. Because the Grid Network has great shows, not only at the bank for me, we still got MTMO. We got Carving It Up with Bryce, All Even Podcast, Clutch Sports Talk, Outside the Cage, The Forum, and then coming real soon, the Raiders is about to have their own podcast on the Grid Network. So make sure y'all tune in, stay tuned, because good things from the Grid is coming up. And also, yo, every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, make sure y'all go to the 8 o'clock The Spot, yo. I guarantee you it's the best sports show every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, yo. You'll never know who's going to win, you feel me? We got the Wrench, you got one of the champs right here, myself, and you got multiple other guys that's on there, and you got the host, my man Bryson. You feel me? So make sure y'all tune in every Tuesday at 8 o'clock The Spot, you feel me? So we are here at week 2, man. We going up to Cincinnati, man, and we not going up to Cincinnati with a full clip of team. You feel me? And this is going to be kind of a scary game in my eyes because I feel like the injuries that we took in week 1, man, we really going to need these guys throughout the season, man. And one of the top guys that went down and is gone for the rest of the season is J.K. Dobbins, man. J.K. Dobbins is now done for the rest of the year with a torn Achilles, man. And I feel like that this is the end of J.K. Dobbins. I feel like J.K. Dobbins will no longer be a Raven no more for the simple fact that, you know, he can't stay healthy. His durability is not that good. And this was a pivotal year for him. And like I said, man, it sucks that my guy cannot go out here and ball out like I thought he was. And you know, I wish him nothing but the best. Hopefully he do because he still will be a Raven. Hopefully he still be able to come back and go through his career, his journey. And I wish, like I said, I wish him nothing but the best, man. But I really do feel like J.K. Dobbins had played his last snap as a Raven last Sunday, man. It just going to be so hard to really kind of see him coming back next year. But the injury bust did not stop there, you feel me? It kept on biting us. It got us with Ronnie Stanley, all-pro left tackle, man. And this was another guy who I felt like should be will have a big year. You know, but once again, his injury bug, his durability is just no good right now. And it sucks because, like I said, we need a dominant left tackle. We need somebody to protect Lamar's blind side. We have a rookie left guard there, man, and now that you take away Ronnie Stanley, it's going to be very hard to see how can that left side hold up, man, and that's going to be one of the questions, that can that left side hold up. Another injury on the old line is our all-pro center, man. Our center Tyler Lindenbaum is also going to be missing this game also, man. It's like, golly, we just couldn't get out of week 1 without being injury free, man. It kills me. And like I said, I really like the center. I really like Tyler Linderbaum, man. He really has progressed to become a top center in this league, man. And him not being durable and available for this game really sucks. Another injury, because like I said, man, we just kept on getting hit. Marcus Williams, man. is now going to be out for a couple of weeks. I don't know how long. They haven't really gave a timetable, but he tore his pec muscle in that game against Houston, man. And I was thinking that he was going to have a big year because, that DB room is very, very thin, very thin. And now with him going on the IR for a couple of weeks, it just got thinner. And also, Mark Andrews is questionable. He is questionable. They have not ruled him out, or they not have said he will play yet. He is a game time decision. He's still dealing with that quad injury, so I'm really hoping that Mark Andrews is available and be able to play, because we need all the weapons that we can possibly get, man, for the Cincinnati Bengals. Because if you don't already know, man, this game is kind of pivotal for us, because this is the battle of the North. This is where the North start separating themselves. Cleveland is already up in the AFC North because they beat Cincinnati last week, and that's a little scary, because now what Cincinnati team we going to get this week? Are we going to get that same Cincinnati team that couldn't block for Joe Burrow? Hopefully, fingers crossed. Or are we going to get that same Cincinnati that we got from last year, the team that pretty much beat us throughout the whole year last year? And they came up and beat us in the game that we really needed the most. You feel me? So it just right now, the career stats, the career winnings and losses between the Ravens and the Bengals, we hold a 28-27 all-time lead in the series. That's to include the regular season and the postseason. And we already know the last meeting came in the postseason of 2022. And we already know how last season ended. Last season ended with this stupid ass play, man. I'm still kind of mad at Tyler Huntley when he did this. Like, what in the hell was he thinking, trying to dive from the 5-yard line? Like, what was he thinking? And the Bengals went on here and got that dub, and we were so close. We had marched down the field, like I said, got down to the 5-yard line, and then this man tried to dive from the 5-yard line and fumbled. And the Cincinnati Bengals defense was able to hold that game down, score that touchdown, and win the game 24-17, man. And we was real close. We was real close to coming to taking that game to overtime. It was just a tip pass that I felt like if James Prochet was on point, man, he wouldn't be able to got that pass. But, it's like I said, it's living in the past. So it's not a big thing, but it is a big thing because, like I said, we're still trying to keep ahead of this Cincinnati and the Cincinnati rivalry. We still wants to go in here and win that 29th game. We don't want Cincinnati coming here and tie it up, and then it comes down to the middle of the season when it's time for us to play Cincinnati at the bank again. You feel me? And then try to take that lead back. No, let's try to take the 2-game lead. You feel me? And like I said, this is a revenge game for me. This should be a revenge game for everybody on the Flock Nation, you feel me? Because for the simple fact that they beat us last year. This is personal. You know what I mean? And it just we just gotta do a couple key things, and hopefully those key things can actually work out for us, you feel me? And I'm hoping that the Cincinnati that showed up to Cleveland last week will be the same Cincinnati team that shows up again this week. You feel me? And it's going to be an interesting game because, like I said, this game kind of start placing the AFC and the AFC North, because we already got one dub in the AFC by beating Houston last week. And if we can keep on piling up these AFC wins early, it wouldn't hurt us towards the end of the season if we start losing some games in the AFC. You feel me? So it's an early test. It's an early mountain that we're gonna most definitely gonna climb and get over this hump. You feel me? So the thing is, let's start with the key facts of how I feel. What's the lookout for in this upcoming game? You feel me? Let's start off with the offense side of the ball. I feel like on the offense side of the ball that hold on, my bad, y'all. On the offense side of the ball, I feel like the offensive line, how this offensive line protection is going to be. That's the one thing. Because like I said, I already told y'all how Ronnie Stanley went down already, and he's not available, or Tyler Linderbaum. So it's like now once you plug in McCarron, who's going to be filling in for Ronnie Stanley, I'm not sure who's going to be our center that's going to replace Tyler Linderbaum. it's like now I'm pretty sure that Pat Ricard's name is going to get called a lot this upcoming game. Pat Ricard is going to be the guy that's going to have to do a little bit more blocking than what he normally do. Because right now it's all about protecting Lamar and making sure that Justin Herbert or Henderson does not get to Lamar. Because people just don't understand. Those two edge rushers that Cincinnati have, in my opinion, are underrated. Nobody gives them the proper love that they really deserve. And these guys gave us hell last year. So we already gave our 4 sacks last game against Houston. We cannot give up more than 4 sacks this game. We can't. That our rookie left guard, man, you really gonna have to hold your own this week, my guy, because it's gonna have to take you to actually step up a little bit more or a little bit faster than we intended to. Because, like I said, we don't have our all-pro left tackle on that side of you that can help you out with the double team blocks, anything of that nature. I'm not saying that McCarron can't do that, but at the same time, man, it's gonna be almost every man for itself, especially on those edges, those tackles, right and left. It's going to be very, 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 very important. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, these Cincinnati edge rushers that they have can really hurt us. So if we can just stop that momentum and make sure that their edge rushers doesn't hurt us, I feel like the Ravens can most definitely come out victorious in this game. Another key to watch out for, like, who will lead this running back room now? Now that J.K. Dobbins had went down, this should be the time that Gus Edwards really emerged, because Gus Edwards said, I was reading in one of his interviews that he was saying that he feel like that now it's his time. It's time for him to step up. It's time for him to show out. It's time for him to show us that he can be a lead back. And a lot of people was giving questions like, should the Ravens go out and get another running back? Should we trade for Jonathan Taylor? And so on. In my opinion, I feel like that Gus Edwards can hold his own. I feel like Gus Edwards, it might not be the cutest and the sexiest, and it might not look like J.K. Dobbins, but I feel like Gus Edwards will ground and pound get it done. That's what I feel like. And with the with his backups of Justice Hill and Melvin Gordon, I'm pretty sure who's going to get elevated from the practice squad. And once he get elevated from the practice squad, I feel like that Gus Edwards and Melvin Gordon can hold their own. You know, it's no longer going to be that J.K. Dobbins got to really prove himself, and he felt like that he has to take control of this offense. Now that this running back room is going to have to be led by committee. It's going to have to take a whole team of running backs to actually make sure that this running game stay in place. Because, like I said, the running game is still important for this organization. Just because we switch new schemes and new offensive coordinator, I still feel like the ground and pound is our bread and butter. And you shouldn't go to what we know that works the most. You feel me? So I feel like Gus Edwards most definitely going to have to be the workhorse. Gus Edwards going to have to show that, like, he can be able, and he's the underrated back out the field pass catcher too. I feel like if Gus Edwards can show that display multiple times, I think we might have something. You feel me? So I most definitely can't wait to see how Gus Edwards and whenever Melvin Gordon comes up and show that he's ready. Another key that I want us to look out for is who will the offense play through. Now, like I said, J.K. Dobbins was a real pivotal player, and then now that he's gone, like, who is this offense going to flow through? I really think that Zay Flowers is the answer. Because if we seen what Zay Flowers was doing last week, man, Zay Flowers was tremendous last week. Zay Flowers had 9 receptions for 78 yards. His longest was 21 yards, and he had 10 targets. 10 targets out of 9 receptions. That's not bad for an opening week. That's not bad for a rookie, man. He was 22 yards away from making 100 yards in this first game. So I feel like that the offense can most definitely run through Zay, and if Zay can get cooking early, I feel like the Bengals will be trying to figure out how to stop Zay, because you got to remember Cincinnati lost both of their safeties last year. So them not having their safeties, and newcomer safeties. I feel like the Ravens should kind of put a little threat on those safeties, just a little bit. Excuse me, just a little bit. And this will be a perfect game for Mark Andrews to play if he's able to play. Because if Mark Andrews is able to play, man, oh man, that offense is going to be very, very scary. And we was already starting to see things starting to click with OBJ and Lamar. If that can really start manifesting itself, woo, our offense can be very, very scary, and our offense can do some things, and it can get Cincinnati defense running wild and running long. And it can be a long game for Cincinnati, but those key things gotta happen for the Ravens, man. Because like I said, we gotta see how this offensive line protect. We gotta see how this this running back room play, and we gotta see how the Ravens going to come out playing. Who they're going to play through? If they're going to play through the strength of Zay Flowers, if they're going to be a ground and pounding Gus Edwards in a steady run game, or can the offensive line really protect Lamar enough and have Lamar have a clean pocket where he can step into his throws, he can make better throws? Because last week that offensive line really didn't give Lamar any clean pocket for him to step up into. That's why Lamar had got sacked 4 times. That's why Lamar had threw an interception, and that's one of the reasons why Lamar really fumbled. Because once he got outside the pocket, he got to protect the ball. So those are the 3 key things that I would love to see the Baltimore Ravens offense do against the Cincinnati Bengals. And if they can do that against the Cincinnati Bengals, I feel like the Ravens can have a successful game. We coming back with that dub, you feel me? But, like I said, it's just a simple things that they're going to have to do. All right. Before I switch it over to the defensive side of the keys, man, I see we got a comment. We got a comment from one of my favorite fans, OG. Yo, what it is, OG, man. Yes. You already know what it is, OG, man. Me sitting here kicking that Ravens facts, you feel me? OG, man, if you still up on here, man, what you think, man? How you feel about Gus Edwards in this run game now that J.K. Dobbins had went down? Give me your opinion on that, OG. But now, like I said, before I wrap up on this offensive side, I feel like that if that offensive line can really keep Lamar clean, man, it can be scary hours. Scary hours. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I'm really seeing, and so far what I've seen from Todd Monken so far from last game, man, it's a balanced attack. I feel like he knows what he's doing. He knows how to game plan for a game. You feel me? It was just Houston Texans. It was at times that some of the plays did break down, but it seems like this offense is almost, once we start getting comfortable and start getting clicking, man, things will happen. Good things will happen. So I cannot wait to see how this offense start progressing. Now I'm hoping that the offense do progress. This upcoming game against Cincinnati Bengals, man, we really going to need that. All right, let's switch it over to the defensive side. You feel me? I got some questions on this defense that I'm pretty sure that y'all would like to know. Also, one of the key things that I like to know about this defense is we gotta get pressure on Joe Burrow. We have to. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. We seen that last week, man, that the defense was able to get pressure to CJ Stroud, and we're gonna need more of that because if I'm not mistaken, we had sacked CJ Stroud. Give me 1 second. CJ Stroud got sacked 5 times for 46 yards, and he lost 46 yards. So if CJ Stroud can most definitely, if our defense can most definitely get to Joe Burrow like we did to CJ Stroud, I feel like that it's going to be a good game for the defense because we already seen that Jadeveon Clowney was able to get back there into the quarterback's lap. You feel me? But the only thing about Clowney he didn't do was he wasn't able to take the quarterback down. He had 2 sacks in his hand, in my opinion, last week against the Texans. But, he wasn't able to get the quarterback down. I felt like that he let up a little bit. I felt like he was just like, nah, I'm not gonna slam him down. No, dog, you got to get aggressive. You got to get aggressive. David Ojabo, man, he looked good. Him and Oway, they looked all right. They looked pretty decent last week, man. So now I'm looking for them to actually really get to the quarterback more. You know what I mean? That defensive line, that front seven looked good last week. And it got to the point that it trickled up to, you know, to the linebackers, that when Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith were both able to get 10-plus tackles, both of them was able to get a tackle for loss, and both of them was able to get a sack. I feel like, I keep trying to tell you, I feel like that this linebacker duo was about to be the best linebacker duo this year. So be on the lookout to see how PQ and Roquan really come together, taking down the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow. But yeah, I feel like if this edge rush, if Clowney, Jobu, all of those guys can get home, can get to the quarterback, just like how Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns did to Joe Burrow last week, I feel like it can be a long game for Joe Burrow again. But like I said, man, I'm not looking at that game of last week. I kind of feel like that team is not going to be the team that shows up. You feel me? So we will see. Number two thing I would like to see from the defense is that DB versus wide receiver matchups. We already know that we are hurting and depleted in that DB room. There's no Marlon Humphrey. Marcus Williams also went down. So right now we got Brandon Stevenson, Ronald Darby, Kyle Hamilton. Who else played last week, man? Let me see. Dang, what's my guy? Darius Washington, number 29. Those guys got a lot of things. They got a handful. Because Cincinnati got a three-headed monster when it comes to this wide receiver room. They got of course, they got Jamar Chase. They got Higgins. They got what they got? T. Higgins, and they got dang, I forgot the third wide receiver name. It really slipped off my head right now. But those are the things that those wide receivers that they have, man, are very dangerous and can be dangerous, and I'm pretty sure they will be dangerous. You feel me? For the simple fact that Tyler Boyd, that's his name. I knew that his name was gonna come. So they got Higgins, Boyd, and Chase. All three of those wide receivers are capable of really kind of taking over a game. And we already know that Jamar Chase he's a bad man, especially if he get time. He know how to read coverages, he know how to run routes and all that. And it sucks that we're not going to have Marlon Humphrey. So I'm looking to see. I don't know who's going to play him. I don't know if the Ravens going to just leave whatever cornerback to sides, or if they're going to have a man chasing after him. However, whatever the case may be, you got a lot in front of you, my guy. So, but the thing about it is, I feel like the Ravens defense, DBs, we're a little underrated. We did okay. Now, Robert Woods last week with the Houston Texans, they kind of was starting to cook a little bit. You can just see certain things that wasn't in our favor, but as the whole defense, we was able to just keep composed and not let Houston score. And hopefully we can do the same thing with Cincinnati, because Cincinnati didn't score last week. So I'm pretty sure they're looking and itching to get to the end zone. So we can most definitely contain and have that same type of mentality that we had last week and hold them. So DBs is being called out. It's not going to just be one man that can really stop the show. It's going to take the whole DB room to stop these three-headed monsters in the wide receiver room that Cincinnati have, man. So I'm most definitely going to be tuned in, watched in, checking them out. And then the last thing I would like to see from the defense is we got to force turnovers. We have to force turnovers. Now, last week we did okay. We didn't get no interception last week, which I'm kind of shocked and surprised that we didn't. We did not get no turnover, no interception. So I'm really looking to see that this week, this has got to be the week that we got to force turnovers. We got to force interceptions. We got to force fumbles and so on. And then, in the back end of that force turnover, the Ravens defense got to get off the field. You can't let Cincinnati get these 3rd and 7s and they convert them to get a first down. Got to get off the field. Gotta force turnover. You gotta make Cincinnati kind of chase behind us, play behind us. Feel like they feeling a little threatened, and then, not to mention they still got Joe Mixon that can come off the backfield and he's a hard runner. So it's going to be a hard-fought game, in my opinion. I feel like this game, it will not be a blowout either way. I feel like both teams, both offenses will score. But I don't think it will be like a high-scoring game, in my opinion. I think this game is going to come down to a field goal. It's really going to come down to a 3-point win. And I feel like the Ravens will pull that victory out with that 3-point win because nobody is betting with us. We are the underdogs. If I'm not mistaken, that Cincinnati holding a 3-point favor in the betting world. So if you bet with us, if you're trying to win that big money, I feel like that Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I'm not going to say that they are in trouble because, like I said, it's just week 2. But if we got to beat the cat while it's down, man. we can't let this cat get his ninth life. They can't rise up or nothing in that nature. I feel like if the Ravens handle what they handle and limit mistakes, that's what it's going to come down to. We cannot go. Let me say this loud in the back for the Flockers, yo. We cannot go in halftime with 9 penalties going almost into 100 yards of penalties. We can't. That is causing for us to lose. I feel like if that's the case, man, that Cincinnati will capitalize and will score points off of those mistakes. So we most definitely, please, Flockers, Ravens, do not commit so many penalties, man. This I'm not saying that this game has to be real clean because I feel like this is the AFC North. This game is going to be hard hits. It's going to be trash talking. It's going to be the referees blowing whistles multiple times just to separate guys and all that. But we got to remember that the second man that commits the foul always the guy that gets caught. Always. It's never the first guy that gets caught. So if we can limit the penalties, the Ravens have a better shot of winning tomorrow's game because, like I said, we need this game. This game is important, and it's only in week 2, and it's important for us because, like I said, the Ravens have to get an edge of this AFC North. If we want to win this North this year, man, we got to take the games, and we got 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken, 3 games back to back, AFC North. So this week we got the Bengals. Then the following week we got the Colts, but then we got the Browns and the Steelers. So in the next 4 weeks, it's the 3 of those weeks. It's going to be AFC North tested, and it's best to get these games early now because, like I said, the second time we play Cincinnati, it will be at the bank. The second time we play Cleveland, we'll be at the bank. The second time we play Pittsburgh, we'll be at the bank. You know what I mean? So at the end of the season, we're gonna be at the bank. And why not try to get these guys at their stadium now? So they won't try to cut. They gonna have to feel that pressure when they come to the bank. So I'm predicting the Ravens will win tomorrow. My bad for not putting the score, for making a thumbnail for the score, but my prediction of the score tomorrow will be the Ravens pull this game out 17-14. It's going to be a long, hard-fought game. I feel like the Ravens will win this game 17-14. It's going to come down to Justin Tucker kicking that field goal. That's what I'm predicting right now. Justin Tucker is going to win it for 3. So it's going to be an interesting game. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. Check your local listings to see where your game will be aired at, man. But for here, Baltimore, yo, make sure y'all go to CBS. If you got the NFL ticket, make sure you go click on that. All that. Make sure y'all tune in. It's going to be a big game tomorrow, a pivotal game, and it's week 2, and it's already a pivotal game. So once again, man, I appreciate y'all for joining in, tapping in on this episode, man. I feel like the Ravens will get the dub. We will be 2-0. So when y'all see me tomorrow after the game, just remember that I called it first. We will be 2-0 against the Cincinnati Bengals. And coming into this 2023 season, 2-0. Plain and simple. So before I let y'all go, man, if like I said at the beginning of this episode, if you have not already, man, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you once you get done watching this episode, man, leave comments, because I do answer back to the fans in the comments that's in the comment section. So leave comments. Make sure I love the dialogue. I love the debate. I love to go back and forth. You know what I mean? So like I said, just make sure y'all leave comments. And like I said, if you're not already, like, share, subscribe to the Grid Network and to this podcast. And if you're not already, follow my social medias. At Instagram, you got @thebank_podcast. On TikTok, at the bank_podcast. And on Twitter, known as X now, it's @thebank_pod. So if y'all want to go ahead and tap into those social medias, yo, please do so. Because like I said, yo, it's going to give y'all nothing but the updates, what's going on in the Ravens organization and upcoming games and my stats, especially on Twitter. I'll be tweeting all day about the game. So tomorrow, follow me on that Twitter page as I'm giving out my opinion as the game going on. So make sure y'all do that. And like I said in the beginning of the episode, if you not have already entered the grid, yo, that'd be different. Because we got great shows such as Carving It Up with Bryson, Odd Even Podcast, Clutch Sports Talk, Outside the Cage, The Forum, and my own MTMO Sports Podcast. If you have not checked out my latest episode, my 114th thought, as I talked about Coach Prime, the USA FIBA team, and week 1 of the NFL, please do so. I guarantee it's a dope episode you don't want to miss. You feel me? Anything that I'm on is you don't want to miss. And like I said, anything I'm on, make sure they are at the spot Tuesday at 8 o'clock, the 8 o'clock spot, yo, as the Grid and a couple of my Grid members, we go head to head to see who got the best take and the debates, you feel me? So like I said, it's a dope show. It's a dope network. Why not enter the Grid? Because you can be different. Dare to be different, you feel me? So that's all I have for y'all, yo, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in, that comments, and so on and so on. And as always, big trust, because why trust anything else, you feel me? I'm out.